I'm so glad you stopped me this morning.
My name is Sue Donovan. I work for the city of Des Moines. Trabaja para la ciudad de Des Moines. I do the neighborhood inspection and zoning enforcement. Y hace las inspecciones para lo que son las zonas de casas en la ciudad. As part of my duties is to oversee how property is used within the city. Y parte de su trabajo es saber cómo funcionan todas las casas y edificios de la ciudad. You're caught in kind of a complicated situation, so I wanted to explain what's going on and how we got here so you understand what's going on. Usted está en una situación difícil, complicada, así que ella va a ayudar un poquito a explicar lo que está pasando. This trailer court has been in operation for a number of years. El lote de trailers está funcionando ya por bastantes años. There were certain units that were put in illegally. Y algunas de las unidades fueron instaladas ilegalmente. Those are the units that run north toward Lally within the park. Las unidades que están del lado de Lally, del lado norte. And there are other 6 units that are along Army Coast. Y otros son 6 unidades que están del lado de la calle del Army Coast. Those are sitting partially on city land. Y esos en realidad están sentados en propiedad de la ciudad. And those need to be moved off of our city property. Tienen que removerse porque son propiedad de la ciudad. So what we have is 6 units that head toward Lally that were put there illegally and need to be moved off. Lo que tenemos de nuevo son 6 unidades del lado del Army Post que tienen que moverse porque fueron instaladas ilegalmente. And then the 6 along the front toward Army Post.
Where is this land?
Well, I'll get to that. If you want to ask questions, that's another issue.
I mean, why not let's first stay there? What's hurting anything?
The city can't lease property.
Ain't hurting nothing?
Y ella está preguntando que por qué la tienen que mover, si no está afectando a la ciudad. Y ellas están instaladas ilegalmente, pues tienen que removerse. The trailer park owner, the contract buyer, Montalvo, el señor Montalvo, que fue el comprador, creo que bajo contrato, was told 3 years ago, le dijeron hace 3 años, that the trailers on the north toward Lally were placed there previously, not by him. Las casas móviles que estaban del lado de Lally estaban ilegalmente ahí, but they had to be moved off of there. Pero tenían que moverse, se le dijo. So we gave him 3 years to do that. Le dimos 3 años para hacerlo. The ones in the front, they're on city property. Las que están enfrente, que están de nuevo enfrente en la propiedad de la ciudad, have to be moved off of city property, and we gave him 3 years notice that needed to happen.
Okay, what trailers can't be moved? I mean, some of these trailers can't be moved because they're not able to be moved. Then what? Then what happens to the trailers? They ain't able to be moved. You guys don't pay to get moved. You guys don't pay for them. You get your families away.
The city itself has no relocation money. So
that's right. You should come to a kid.
We do have service providers from the community who are in attendance Friday. Some of your questions about moving and relocation. And we will try to work through those over the coming months to allow people time.
¿Por qué este medio lo están haciendo a espaldas de Francisco? ¿A él no se le informó nada sobre este meeting?
Why are you doing this meeting without Mr. Francisco being here? We're here to answer questions of the people who live in the mobile homes and rent land.
Yeah, I do. We do live in there.
We have had several conversations with him. Is there some reason he would need to be here at this particular time? ¿Había una razón que tiene que estar aquí él? Porque we're dealing with him on the issues that we need to deal with him.
Nosotros la ciudad estamos tratando de arreglarnos con él solamente en lo que tenemos que arreglar con él.
the purpose of this meeting was to give
El
assistance to the
objetivo
people
de esta junta es para darle servicio
who
a
are
la
living there
gente que vive ahí.
that need to be displaced.
Y saber cómo ayudarlos para moverlos de ahí.
Pero es un hecho que los van a sacar.
So it's the fact that you guys are going to move out, or you guys working out.
Those the 6 trailers toward Lally and the 6 in front will
Sí,
have
las
to
6 que
leave.
están del lado del ALI, 6 que están del ALI, todos esos definitivamente tienen que moverse.
Okay, las que están en el verano todos no están en el área.
The ones that are unused are not illegal.
Yes, they're on they're on city property.
Están,
Okay, I'm sitting on this property, ready to just sit there, so let me sit there and do nothing but waste away. I mean, who's gonna want the property though? Who's gonna want that little bit of land, or that one side, and a little bit of land on the other side? Who's gonna want it? Nobody's gonna want that
We can't allow occupancy and rental in city right of
Dice
way.
que no pueden
So
aceptar
they have to go.
otra propiedad en áreas de la ciudad.
I mean, ain't hurting nobody, ain't hurting nobody, ain't hurting nothing.
No estamos dañando a nadie, dice.
No,
I think it's stupid.
What our goal is to work with each individual family who has each individual
Nuestras
circumstances.
metas es poder ayudarlos a cada uno de ustedes, porque todos tienen diferentes situaciones, solamente estamos aquí para ayudarlos.
Well, let's go to the trailers.
As they work through the process,
Mientras estamos
Over the next
por el
couple months.
proceso, en los próximos meses.
una pregunta.
Pues,
No sé si Francisco ya sabía desde hace 3 o 2 años que le había notificado y él no seguía cobrando la renta, entonces él nos estuvo robando.
So if Mr. Francisco knew about 3 years ago, and he still was asking for rent, probably he was just doing from
Sounds like
fraud.
I would suggest that you talk to Legal Aid Society.
Porque él nunca nos comentó nada.
He never shared with us, no comment anything.
We understand.
Dice, nosotros lo entendemos. Para eso ella decía ahorita en este momento que ellos tienen ahorita una ayuda legal, se pueden contestar preguntas.
Or Home Incorporated is here also.
También el Home Incorporated también está aquí para contestar preguntas legales.
There are certain rights that you may have in this situation. I am not here to give you legal
Dice que
advice.
la mayoría de ustedes tienen derechos en lo que está pasando, pero no estoy aquí para darles un consejo legal.
What we're here to do is try to direct you to the resources
Lo
where you
que
can
yo
get those
quiero
answers.
es para que ustedes presentarles a las diferentes organizaciones que le pueden ayudar y contestar
So
sus
why
preguntas.
after 3 years instead of being brought up now?
Yeah.
What?
Because, I mean, if you spoke to the so-called owner of the so-called property that belongs to the city of Des Moines, I think you guys have more rights than that so-called owner to remove that property, to remove those trailers from them. It was something that should have been done more than 3 years ago if it was brought up to that person, and if that's what he did, where he did something wrong and did take the money from the occupants of the both sides that you guys are trying to remove the trailers from, they should have more rights than what's being spoken about right now.
Y es solamente hablamos sobre por qué le dijo hace 3 años porque tienen que ahora hacer diferentes años que yo no sabía.
And they told her, you are not there, he told her, this is my property, I told you guys what you need, nobody could tell me what to do. Until then, he still made her do what she did move, and she did renovate the trailer, and the money she did wasted and renovated the trailer because the trailer was a junk. He still told her that they're not moving, but they say he still claims money for rent from her, which is
We fully understand that he has not done what we would have wanted him to do in notifying tenants of the situation.
Contestando la pregunta de ella porque
But wouldn't that make us a victim of a crime?
bueno, él a lo mejor no hizo lo que tenía que hacer, le costó tanto tiempo lo que estaba pasando. Porque mucha gente todavía compró trailers and after that a lot of people bought trailers from there.
I cannot give legal advice.
De nuevo no puedo darles a ustedes consejo legal ahorita, no es la meta hoy.
One
So
of
what
the,
are
one of
the
the
trailers? I mean, what trailer park is gonna take them trailers? No trailer park owners will know whether these trailers go into them because it's not up, because it's not new. You know. So
And-
we're
and
gonna
that's-
put those trailers.
That's one of the things that service providers can help you with options on what
Yo no voy a preguntar por qué van a
If I'm getting this right, you're here to facilitate us to the people that can give us these answers that we have.
Exactly.
All right.
Y está, de nuevo, pregunto que la gente que está aquí no está ni contra del dueño ni contra de ustedes, sino para ayudar a contestar preguntas de lo que ustedes puedan
I personally felt, and the city felt it was a good thing for us to do to let you know what was happening, so that you knew the truth of what was happening.
Yo pienso que nosotros hicimos lo correcto en dejarles saber a ustedes lo que estaba pasando.
So that's why we're here, is to give you the information,
la información,
so that you know what's going to happen,
para
you
ver
know
qué
what's
es lo que va a
happening.
pasar y lo que está pasando.
Which lots are going to be displaced?
Pardon?
Which lots will be displaced?
I don't know the numbers, 6 right along Army Post, 6 going north.
Not sure about that, not sure.
If they're inside, behind the road along Army Post, they're not being displaced.
From 1 to 15.
Se van a remover y ellas
1 to 15.
luego son las 6 del lado de allá y las 6 del lado de la calle.
One of the things that I would really need also is for you to give the service providers, I know that there are intake sheets. I need to know when you moved in, when you bought the trailer.
La información que queremos ustedes es cuándo la compraron, si no la pueden dar información. Muchos de ustedes ya la dieron, cuándo la compraron, cuánto tiempo siguen viviendo ahí.
And it's also important for us to have the intake information so that we can get a hold of you and keep you abreast of what's really happening.
También si pueden dar su información para poder contactarnos con ustedes y darles lo que está diciendo, lo que está pasando.
Any other questions at this point?
¿Alguna otra pregunta ahorita?
When? We're not exactly sure. 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Why did they allow this to go on?
Huh?
Why did they allow it?
Almost 60 days.
I knew it was going on.
And then realized that he hadn't informed anybody.
Le dimos algo 60 días para poder moverla.
So one of the things that we want to get,
Todavía no hizo la carta.
90 days, all right, sorry. Yeah, I got that. You,
Lo siento, no sé, creo que eran 90 y él tenía nada más 60.
But one of the things that we're trying to do is get information about each individual circumstance so that we can work through the process. I'm not looking for a hard and fast deadline, as just making it as easy as possible over the summer to get this accomplished.
Estamos tratando nada más de ayudarle para que sea más fácil y más para ustedes y las puedan mover durante el verano. So when is the section of the days? 60 days.
It's not hard and fast, because if you can't move for 65 days, we're certainly not going to do it.
Pues dice, no importa cuándo se necesitaría, si son 65, y lo más obviamente no los vamos a sacar los aquí.
That's why we want to stay in touch,
Por eso
so
quiero estar en contacto con ustedes,
as you work through your individual
para que cada
circumstances.
uno de ustedes pueda manejar sus circunstancias, porque todos tienen diferentes circunstancias, diferentes maneras.
We're not forcing the issue
Estamos forzándolos
so that you have to move fast.
para que tengan que moverse rápido.
What we don't want to have happen is have people having to move in the middle of December.
Lo que
So
no
who's
queremos
supposed
tampoco
to pay
es
lot
que
rent?
se me
No,
olvide
no,
siempre.
so they said no. Which one was no?
You need to talk to an attorney about your legal questions.
Ella tiene cuestiones legales, preguntas legales que dice que hable con un abogado, con alguien legal si quiere. Una pregunta, cuando fueron a agarrar la presentación y todo eso, dijeron que iba a haber un abogado aquí. So you guys have legal advice today?
I have legal agents posted, and they're not here, they're aware of the situation, and
Lo que le llaman en inglés legal aid, que es asistencia legal gratuita. No, pero eso le llevan, sí, por eso te digo, ellos quedaron de estar aquí, no sabemos por qué no han llegado, ¿no? So, era correcto que la asistencia legal gratuita iba a estar aquí, pero no ha llegado. Sí, porque solamente de este tipo nos pueden dar la ayuda, porque si no tienen dinero para that would be only the only.
Once you get from one person, right along the
dijeron nada que estaba
what's going to be
probably two different issues.
Yo pienso que están dos cuestiones diferentes, dos problemas diferentes.
Figuring out a plan for the future,
Ahorita vamos a hacer un plan para el futuro de ustedes
and figuring out any legal recourse
y
you can take.
después si es que se puede hacer algo legal.
Has everybody filled out an intake sheet?
Ya todos los de aquí almacenaron una hoja de intake, un formulario.
You have not? Deidre? Can you have it? Would you see Deidre then to fill out an intake sheet?
I have it. Do I need one? Do I need two ones?
Yeah, you should fill out an intake sheet. One of the things that we can do with the intake sheets is give them to legal aid.
El día de hoy, si quieren ustedes, el intake, con la forma que ellos llenaron, la podemos entregar
I don't know, section, do I?
de
No.
legal aid.
I don't have it.
No. There's no way, huh?
Do we have any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta? I got this, no, thank you. Oh, okay.
We'll work with you. Okay, we'll work with you. Fill out your intake sheet. Chris, do you want to come up and introduce service providers? Chris is going to introduce service providers, and then you can break up and go to different stations and ask questions.
I'm Chris Johansson, City of Des Moines.
Él es civil de la ciudad de también.
We do have 6 service providers here to speak with
Diferentes agentes están aquí para ayudarles con esta pregunta,
to help with any assistance
ayudar con
that
cualquier
you may need for this relocation.
para esta poderla aplicar.
We do have primary health care that's kind of been with you throughout this so far.
Estamos aquí en primary healthcare,
And with housing,
housing también está aquí.
homing, and they do have information
Ellos también
on
tienen información también.
other mobile home parks if you're looking to
Otros, si
move.
quieren, algunos quieren moverlas, si ellos pueden darle información de cómo moverlas.
Polk County General Assistance
El condado de Polk de asistencia también.
does have available assistance programs that you may be eligible to use.
Algunos programas de asistencia para poder ayudarlos que están elegibles.
The Des Moines Municipal Housing Agency
Está el housing de Des Moines
and City of Des Moines Community Action.
y los que son acciones de ciudadanos.
So I know you are hearing a lot of information tonight.
Yo sé que hay mucha información esta noche.
One thing I do encourage you to do is just to talk with them, see
Uno de
what's
los
available.
después ya de hoy, si pueden hablar con nosotros, cada uno de nosotros. Yo ya por si ya tengo la
Work with something, no. Something's going with something.
I will legal aid
What do they
just
do?
walked in.
No, we own it, we own it.
And I want to keep myself available to answer any individual
Yo también estoy
questions.
aquí por si tienen alguna otra pregunta individual, también estoy aquí de todavía.
So the intake, some of the families have already done intakes with
La mayoría de las
primary
familias ya
health.
hizo sus intakes, sus formularios con nosotros con Primary Health.
On the intake, we had you sign a release to all the service providers that are here.
Ya
I
dentro
will
de la formulario que ustedes llenaron, ya hay una hoja donde ustedes dieron permiso para que ellos puedan accesar a su información.
homing, public housing, general assistance,
Housing de la City de
and
la
access, City of Des Moines, and so the information that you're giving us is really to be able to give you
es
those
para
services.
poderles nosotros accesarle con ellos, también les ayuda.
So I know that there's a few families that haven't done them. I don't want you to rush to do them now. Let's wait to talk to the service providers. And
Ahorita
then
que
we will.
terminemos, si tienen las personas que no lo han hecho, podemos llenar el intake y luego el formulario.
I got a question for the legal aid. You know, I was wondering, you know, if there's a rent being collected illegally over a number of years, why hasn't the city done anything? In other words, if they knew that the rent was being collected illegally, shouldn't they have done something?
Él pregunta por qué si esto estaba legalmente hace 3 años, ¿por qué seguían colectando la renta de sus lotes ilegalmente?
My question too. The rent was collected legally during the 3 years.
La renta estaba
Until
colectada
the end of
legalmente.
the agreement with them.
Ellos nunca hicieron nada malo porque se estaba colectando legalmente hasta que se le venció a él el tiempo. Creo que fue en mayo. En el May collected a lot of rent.
It would have been probably the June rent that is finished.
En mayo, lo único la forma ilegal que se hizo fue la renta de junio, pero él estaba legalmente hasta mayo.
Yeah, you can buy it, they pay money to start the water.
Él no tenía que recibir
Well, it would pay.
Si vamos a hablar uno a la vez, por favor. Think he collected in May of 2022.
What do you mean illegal? If I live in a property, I supposed to pay that, right?
Pienso que no estaban
As long as you're
cobrando
legally
legalmente porque
able
estaban
to
ahí
collect it.
viviendo de todos modos. No, pero no están sacando. Yeah, but they allowed us to leave.
Yo sé que no usted, pero me están sacando, porque yo lo que tú estás escuchando aquí, estás diciendo que estábamos hace 3 años, le notificaron. A mí no me dijeron nada, yo llevo un momento viviendo ahí, le pregunté a él, me dijo que no, que todo estaba bien. Él me puede decir a mí, no, esto no va a pasar, porque yo no muestro las vainas.
What'd she say?
Él me dijo que todo le mira, por favor.
Let me just, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Justin Gross, yo trabajo con los servicios legales de Iowa.
Hey, speak up, can you?
I work for Iowa Legal Aid, and I do speak some Spanish. I'm no hablo perfecto, pero
Can't hear.
so, por favor. It sounds like people are frustrated,
Suena como que toda la gente está frustrada.
and there's a lot of questions that you have,
Hay muchas preguntas que puedan tener.
and I understand your
Yo
frustration.
entiendo sus frustraciones.
And I think the people that are here tonight also
También la gente que estamos aquí
are here to
están aquí para
clarify
clarificar cosas
and also to potentially assist you.
y probablemente para poder asistirles, ayudarles.
Not every answer is going to be, or not every question is going to be answered tonight.
Probablemente no todas las preguntas vamos a poder contestarlas el día de hoy.
I plan to do a presentation
Yo lo que quiero hacer es
in
una
the next
presentación
couple weeks,
en unas cuantas semanas,
a more in-depth presentation about your rights.
y es una presentación que tenga que ver con sus derechos más que nada.
And at that time, we can also do, if you qualify, intakes.
Y ya cuando eso lo tenga listo, si ustedes califican, podemos hacer de nuevo lo que es un intake, una aplicación,
which would allow them representation through legal aid.
Which would allow you
y
representation
esto
through legal aid.
quiere decir que si ustedes califican y hacen la aplicación, sería representación de ellos como legalmente para ustedes, van a estar representando.
And if you don't qualify
Si no califican
for representation,
para la representación,
you will at least leave the presentation with knowledge about your,
por lo menos ustedes se den cuenta cuáles son sus derechos.
okay? So I plan to work with primary health
Voy
care
a trabajar muy cerca con Primary Healthcare
in setting up in the next week or two.
en una o 2 semanas una presentación. ¿Está bien?
That's all I have for you.
Esto es lo que tengo por ahorita. So we have to continue paying our lot rent?
Well, that's what we tell people to put it into an account.
Yo pienso que a lo mejor si quieren ponerlo en una cuenta aparte.
I'm not sure. I am here to also gather information from the city as to who's responsible and who's liable
Y ahorita más que nada también yo estoy aquí para aprender o preguntarles a la ciudad de Detroit quién es, qué es lo que se debe
for the
hacer
situation that
para
you
esa
find
situación,
yourself in.
en la situación que están ustedes ahorita.
So if everything expired in May, they're not obligated to pay rent.
Y entonces
I will see
yo
if they should be
que
obligated to
en
pay rent.
mayo no están obligados a
Expired in
pagar
May,
lotes.
and he collected May, in June money.
Yo no sé que la persona con mi casa me dice que ya no tenga que pagar ya. El caso fue que
No sé, no lo veo aquí, pero la persona que
you're not supposed to be paying.
I think we should table the rent question because that's going to be answered when legal aid goes through the
Esta
analysis.
pregunta no se la podemos hacer el día de hoy, él la tiene que analizar legalmente antes de darles una respuesta para que no se den problemas.
Should be done before the next rate rent payment due in July.
Y eso probablemente va a estar completamente aclarado antes de que tengan que pagar la renta de julio.
And at which point, when legal aid has done the analysis, they can tell you what the legal rights are with
Después
the new rent.
terminen su análisis sobre la investigación que va a hacer él, entonces ya les puede dar una respuesta como en una semana o dos y darles la mejor respuesta. Sí, lo tiene que hacer o no.
Now, one question I do have, are there some of the trailers that are owned by the owner of the property?
Hay algunas trailers que ustedes saben que son propiedad del dueño, trailers en sí, no el lote, sino la trailer.
Do you all believe that you hold title to your trailer and it's yours?
Ustedes todos tienen título.
You know you
I don't have
I'm,
But I know some of them weren't paid or transferred.
I think they're all under the impression of money. And the title transfers may have to be worked out or not worked out as we look at each individual situation.
Los títulos van a tener que hablar de manera distinta dependiendo de la situación de cada persona.
We have not gotten into that in that situation. We have to hear from the individual. Who knows how old their trailer is?
¿Alguien sabe qué tan viejos son sus trailers? ¿Qué años son?
Any newer than 78?
¿Algunas más nuevas del 78? ¿1978?
La mía es del 78.
Mine is 78.
Yours is 78?
Okay.
Mine's 61.
If your trailer is 78 or newer, Home Incorporated has some information about a party that may be willing to take newer trailers.
Si tu trailer está hecha o puesta ahí del 78 en adelante, probablemente ellos van a poder ayudarles a moverlas, o dar la información cómo moverlas. Los van a aceptar. Y las anteriores no van a ser aceptadas. Básicamente lo que están diciendo ellos es que si tu trailer es 78 o más vieja, ninguno les va a afectar.
Apparently, Home Incorporated did find one court in Newton that will take the
El único lugar donde aceptan las
Hey, I say, mine was
hecho para atrás son
there ain't no way in hell we can move it. I got sickle now. I got diagnosed. There ain't no way in hell I can tell. I mean, hell with it. I ain't doing that.
I think the important thing at this point is for me to give the information to the intake worker and then talk to whoever it is.
I got to right here in town. I got sickle now.
well,
Can't say. I got sickle
What we're
now.
really going to need to do is work with each of you on an individual level based on what your facts of your situation are. I need to know when you bought your
Quiero
trailer
saber cuándo las compraron,
and how old your trailer is.
qué están, porque el momento que la compraron no es lo mismo que el año que la hicieron.
So be sure you get that to the intake worker.
Vamos a buscar esa información, cuándo la, qué año la
Like I said,
compraron y
you
qué
guys
año es la trajeron.
bye-bye.
well, I got a question. Wouldn't the city be complicit in this crime of if there was a crime committed, the city would be complicit in the crime. It'd be involved in the crime
We have
by.
never found that there was crime.
Ahorita no encontraron que hay un crimen.
Well, you said that he doesn't own claim to the land, and the city did, and then now these people are being dislocated with no funds available. The city is committing a crime.
You would have to talk to a lawyer.
Para la persona que tiene que hablar con
But well, you know what I'm saying is it is a crime.
And you're entitled to that.
Right. It is a crime, and I'm saying it's a crime. Does anybody agree it's a crime? Okay. Does anybody else agree that the city was implicit involved in the crime?
la piensa que es un crimen también.
I think we should break.
Okay. Huh?
I was just picking the trailer park.
No. Yeah. We.
Huh?
No. We don't want to limit to that. We don't want to limit to that. I don't have a legal question. We already know it's a crime. We don't want to deal with it on an individual basis. We don't want to deal with it on an individual basis. She's right. The city is complicit in it.
Yeah, if one goes over,
The city is involved in the crime.
It's all down, one at a time. It's all gonna go. So it's gonna be.
Well, Mr. Francisco and I went to talk to her, and they ignore us.
She told us
She told me that, go
So
to the
that-
lawyer,
we went to the lawyer.
and we went.
Yeah, that's what I say. Go to a lawyer.
I've talked to your lawyer. I've talked to your lawyer.
You see the lawyer, he's over there doing nothing.
So, básicamente dice que,
The trailers have to go. But that's not an option.
But it could be like, no, once the first go, the one will go right down the line. They're going to put all the first curtains right down
That
the
is
line.
not true, Francis. It's been going for 3 years. He wasn't invited to this meeting. It wasn't a meeting.
dice que esa no fue una junta donde se le invitaba a él, porque dice, ¿por qué no lo invitaron a él?
That's because you don't want us to know that you in the city or him in the city is involved. That's why he wasn't invited. There's no good reason for him not to be here. There's no good reason for him not to be here.
Okay, excuse me. We are not going down the road that this meeting is headed.
Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are.
No, if you want to talk to individual service providers, feel free.
Claro, pueden hacerlo.
We'll do what we have to do.